Welcome to Power Surge. In this demonstration, I will give you 4 guides that will help you build complex design features natively in Revit. To help illustrate these 4 guides, watch as I build this curved slat facade. Hand sketching each design allows you to quickly and organically define the proportions of a design. All too often, I see operators try to define this in Revit, and they waste hours of time in doing so. 3D CAD software was not meant to replace sketching. Your sketch can be simple. Your focus is simply proportion. A goal without a plan is simply a wish. The strategy for this project is to break down the structure into 3 small parts. In this demonstration, I am using the model in place convenience, which makes sense here because I am creating a bespoke project-specific element. Of course, workflows like this can be sped up with Dynamo, but I think it is a good strategy to know how to do this sort of creation natively in Revit. Before modeling starts, it's always a good idea to set up. Here I have a working view where only the required information is visible. I also have a couple of pre-drawn sections facing the elevations I need, and some pre-assigned levels. With all that in place, I can start modeling. For every minute spent in organizing, an hour is earned. Start by using the wall edge to create 2 parallel model lines. This is done using the Pick Lines tool. The 2 lines are placed at the levels that correspond to the top and bottom of the required arc as shown in the sketch. These lines are lofted together to create a 3D form. This is a sacrificial form created just to get the arc model line. I then divide the form into equal parts where I use each grid intersection as a hosting node. To draw the arcs, I need to first set the wall face as the work plane. Because of my pre-modeling setup and organization, this is easy to do. I switch views using the View tab and then refer to a sectional view that I had pre-created. With the arc model line drawn, the divided grid is no longer needed. I still need to fill in the top section of wall here, so I switch to the sectional view. Because this gives me a clear view of the wall taper at the top. I can use a reference line as a placement host, just like I did with the levels. Then back on the 3D view, I can use the Pick Lines tool again to create a new model line at the tapering wall edge. I dissolve the sacrificial form and create a new one, this time covering the whole wall. I then use the model line tool with draw on face and 3D snapping selected to create a closed loop around the arc. I then select the loop and use it to create a void extrusion. It is important to reduce the depth of the extrusion. I use the arrows and the temp dimensions to do this. I then use the cut tool on the void to create the 3D arc. To create the curved element of the facade, I will repeat many of the tools and moves that we used to create the arc, starting with the model lines on the wall edge via the Pick Lines tool. Using the sectional view as a guide, I know that I need to create a third model line above the window line. Using the isolate function, I can then select the lower two lines and from these create a 3D form. This form is also sacrificial and will also be divided. This time I use the spline through points tool to curve the model line around from the bottom of one side to the top of the other side. Hitting escape on the keyboard to end the command. Once the spline is modelled, I delete the grid. I remove the sacrificial form, leaving only the model lines visible. And again, just like we did with the arc, I need to account for the tapering top edge of the curved wall. I select the reference plane created earlier as the placement. Then selecting the two lines shown on screen, I can create a 3D form. I then remove all of the unrequired model lines. Next, I use the divided surface tool again. This will be used to host the slat family. Before I get there though, I need to fix the grid rotation, which, because of the wall taper, is on a 4-degree angle. Turn off the U-grid, and then on the Properties tab I set the vertical spacing. I also activate the nodes so that I can use the snap function with the slat family. I repeat this for the two remaining parts. Then, using an adaptive family, I place the slats on the nodes and spread these across the surface using the repeated pattern tool. I close out the build by applying this workflow to the remaining parts and finish the mass family. That's the end of the video. I hope that you learnt something new and that you found it interesting. If you did, consider subscribing and hit the like button and drop a comment. And I'll see you in the next video.